All right, man. It's basically March. How you doing, Coach? Welcome back to the show.
I'm doing great. I am puzzled by our performance at Butler because we've been playing awesome defense, helping each other out. We were totally not prepared to play that game from a defensive end. Now, we do struggle with Villanova and Butler. Straight line drives hurt us, and we foul a lot. But I was totally puzzled by that. And it was the most, coming off the best game of the season offensively and defensively to the worst game really was puzzling for me.
Was it an effort thing or a recognition thing?
It was not being prepared mentally and physically, not effort-wise. They always give great effort. I will say that about them. But it's just one of those nights, what was so puzzling with how much there was at stake.
I know.
You know, sometimes you can play Connecticut in the next game, you're on the road, it's the middle of the season, and you get a trap game because some other game is big and you got to win it at the end. That wasn't the case here. We had to win that game.
I know. Okay, so let me ask you this. So you look at the stats, right? One thing jumped out to me the other night watching the game. Offensive rebounds, ridiculous. I mean, you guys are as good as anybody in the country. When you look at rebounds per game, I believe it's like 40 point something, top 10, top 12 in the country. But there's a bit of a disparity, offensive versus defense. Are you comfortable with where the defensive rebounding is right now?
Cooks does not block out. Aaron's not a great block-out guy. RJ's not a great block-out guy. Davon's not a great block-out guy. We just had a whole meeting on blocking out. And I told them, I said, you're not going to go far in the NCAA tournament if you don't hit people. You have to hit people. And they don't like that type of contact. They don't like it. They're not soft.
Yeah, no, I know.
But they don't like that type of contact. They want to get that athletic leap to rebound. I said, that's over. We had 8 non-blockouts, and we got out-rebounded in the last game. So we're going to do something about it. We're not going into tournament play unless we block out. And what's going to happen is, unfortunately, you got to do it. You got to take them right out of the game.
Really?
If they don't play, you got to take them right out and then put them back in.
Okay. Did you think Aaron Scott was really hurt the other night for a second?
He is hurt. He is hurt. He's having
I was thinking torn AC. Like, did you think?
No, I didn't think that.
Okay.
I thought it was hyperextension. Yep. He may not play in the game.
Really?
Yep. Which is a shame. It's senior night.
It is. Could it be a couple of week thing, or you're not sure?
I don't know.
Got it. So you might say, "Shut up, you know nothing." And by the way, compared to you, that's true. I'll give you that. But I have a thought. Like, all the wins, you hammered DePaul by 25, 26. Can you even though you're not pleased with the effort the other night, winning that way and forcing to grind and execute late and on the road, is there maybe more value in that kind of a game than winning by 25 or 26 and just coasting?
The value is seeing all the mistakes and learning through victory rather than defeat. And by the way, you're very good with hoops, so you do know the game.
I appreciate that.
But you have to learn your mistakes and really study film. We win because scouting and preparation is very big with us, and we can't make little mistakes like blocking out. I mean, look, let's face it. Blocking out, you learned at a very young age at your first basketball camp. So that should not be for somebody like Kadari or Sim or Davon. I mean, these guys are very, very bright people. That should not be the case. And they're not soft people.
I know.
So it's not the case. So, yes, when you learn through victory, it's a good thing.
You didn't mention Zuby. Is he the one who does box out to your satisfaction?
Yeah, Zuby does everything the right way. He does everything the right way. Sometimes he loses vision of the basketball. You always have to play. It used to be play your man and see the ball.
Yep.
You got to play the ball and see your man because of the way we play. Our rotations, our switching. Everybody's got to play the ball.
So we've seen, and I love this. It's old school. You know, the language, the raw approach. Not just you, Talik Brown, in the last episode with Sim with the dunk, which we've been with the dunk attempt. So do you still feel like you're a little guarded with those cameras? Because it doesn't seem that way. In all
honesty, we have no idea the cameras are there.
Okay.
The only time I knew they were there twice, I threw them out. I said, "You got to leave."
And then one was in the Bahamas.
Yes, I said,
after the Baylor game,
yes,
right?
you have to leave. You have to leave.
Okay.
But outside that, we never know. Like Talik had no clue. When I gave the halftime speech at Providence, I had which, by the way,
that was awesome.
100 million views.
Hey, I got about 200,000 myself when I retweeted it. It was incredible.
It's something that we would never guess anything like that.
Yep.
So we don't know they're there. They're very much in the background, And Talik didn't know, I didn't know, and that's why it's good theater.
Yeah.
If you knew they were there and you were prepping yourself to not say certain things,
Yeah.
I get a little embarrassed about my language.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. I don't like using that word constantly, but I do it, and it just comes out
I
naturally.
hear you. Me too. By the way, you know why you got those millions of views? Partly because you're Rick Pitino, partly because it's New York and St. John's is killing it this year. But I think a lot of people, especially older people, see that and they're like, that's what coaching used to be like. Kids are transferring. Kids had their hands held in, AAU from the time, if you can play, you're 10, 11, like there's a red carpet for you. What you're doing with these young men is counter to how a lot of people think these young men are being coached by a lot of other people right now.
And Kadari played for Shaheen, who's very hard on his guys.
Yep.
So he's used to it.
He's from Brooklyn, too.
We think it's coaching. They think it's criticism. That's the old thing with all coaches. They think that's how you get better. That's how you learn.
I know.
And I tell my guys all the time, if I'm not correcting you and being hard on you, that means I don't think you're very good.
Oh, that's a pretty heavy statement. I got you. Speaking of Kadari, how's the shot looking? A little better from the free throw line.
He's better from the free throw. He's very good mid-range.
Yeah, he is great
struggles.
mid-range.
He struggles with. He goes back to the bad things at the three-point line, but that's okay. Right now, he's playing terrific basketball. I'm not going to mess with it too much.
He might be a player of the year, whether it's RJ. I mean, you said, and I think I agree, but let's flush it out a little bit here on the show. Kadari, Zuby, RJ, they're going to get a lot of love for player of the year in the conference. You really do believe that they could take away the enough
I don't know.
votes
Who
where
would you
nobody wins it?
look?
I think it's RJ. That's my vote right now.
Okay, so I would possibly agree with you. I think Zuby's the heart and soul of the team. I think Kadari is in crunch time, he's very clutch. But I would probably say RJ is he gets a lot of rebounds, scores a lot of points, creates a lot of assists, makes steals. So I could see all three of them. That's why we win, because we've got three great players.
I meant to ask you, and good role players as well. I meant to ask you, with the Villanova game, you guys took, 37 threes? Does that sound right?
Yep.
Okay. And since then, and all year, guys, shoot it. I don't care if you miss, shoot it. Was that a concerted effort to almost free them up and loosen them up so that they just start, like you almost went overboard to prove a point?
You're a coach getting ready to play St. John's. Guys, pack it in, let them shoot threes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do? Not create movement. Once you create movement, you give a chance to get an offensive rebound. You have to take the shot to get them from packing it in. So if you want to get some backdoors, if you want to get some one-on-ones after movement, you've got to get them out of packing it in. And that's why we're shooting threes.
Even if you miss them, they still have to come out contest and
Yes.
get some backdoor stuff, beat somebody with
Right.
a dribble, opens up the other
It takes
aspects
away
of the game.
all the other things that you want to do well
Yep.
if you don't get them out of packing it in.
Oh, I got you. You've talked about the crowds here. It's been phenomenal, man. The juice at the Garden. I mean, UConn used to, I've been here a million years doing games, 10, 11,000 fans for UConn. It was 90% red the other day. With this Seton Hall game this weekend, in all probability, it's going to be back-to-back home Garden sellouts. You're talking almost 20,000 people. I know you think big because you've done big so far. Is it faster than you thought?
Much faster with the crowds. Everybody said, what's so pleasing to you? Well, I'm so happy for the players because they put in an extraordinary amount of work from the summer. So I'm so delighted with the fact that they're on Broadway. I kept talking about that, getting on Broadway. Now, I told me that now you're on Broadway. Is your show going to be off Broadway because you're getting canceled? Because that means you lost in the NCAA.
Yeah.
Now you're off. It's over. So you want to stay on Broadway. So I'm really happy for the guys. They said, what about you personally? Yes, but I'm happy not for me, meaning myself. I'm really happy for my son, Ryan, who lives 10 miles from me. He gets to come to every game. He didn't do it. My three sons were Nick Ball boys.
Yep.
He never got to experience it as a young child, except maybe a little bit Kentucky, Louisville. But he's now on Wall Street. He gets to come with his friends, his clients, and it's great for him. I'm happy for my wife, who just unfortunately in the last few weeks hasn't been able to come. She's had back surgery. She's enjoyed it with her friends. So from a personal level, I'm happy for my family. But this is what really has made me happy. I'm happy for our student body. The student body here gets kicked around a lot because they don't have a lot going on around campus socially. Most of the kids are done with classes, they go work at nighttime and get a job.
Yep.
Because this is not the home of the rich and famous. You know, we are not Duke, we are not Notre Dame, we are St. John's. We are passionate, hungry, and driven student body that needs to have a distraction for the tough game of life. And our student body are behind us 100%, and they're having a blast. So I'm really happy for our student body.
I notice it too. Absolutely. Last thing, and you could be as short as you want here. And I hesitate to ask it because somebody called me up on the show the other day, and they're talking Final Four, and I said, I get it. I understand why you think. Enjoy each checkpoint, and I'm doing it. My family's doing it. St. John's fans are doing it. If you guys shoot the ball reasonably well, can you guys go all the way?
It's all matchups. So, you know, we lost one time to Morehead State. It was a bad matchup for us. It depends. You could get a great matchup. You could get a terrible matchup. And that's what it's all. It's not about how well you're playing, whether you shoot it well. It's matchups. Can you guard that other basketball team? There's certain teams that we wouldn't want to play. I'm not going to say who they are, but we wouldn't want to play certain teams. So it's all about matchups, and we'll see. That's what Selection Sunday. Selection Sunday is going to be a blast.
I can't wait. That's an awesome thing. You talk about matchups, how you want to avoid the wrong matchup for the first time in a long time. People looking at St. John saying, we don't want that smoke. We don't want that matchup. They're saying that about you guys now.
Well, just what I said the other night against Butler when they said, you know, you now have clinched a share of the title. We don't want to share it with anyone.
No.
And not that we're greedy people. St. John's waited a long time for this.
Man, tell me about
and now if we were Connecticut and sharing it, no big deal. But St. John's doesn't want to share anything right now. We want to eat.
1991-92, last time this has happened. Handle business this weekend. There will be no share. It will be yours. And behind us over there, if you can see it on camera now, you're going to add some more banners. And it's all, honestly, it's because of you, man.
Well, we thank you for your support, too. And, you know, everybody says you're 6 points away from being undefeated. 7? Okay. Yeah, but how about this? How many 2-point games have we won?
That's true, too.
Be Providence,
yeah,
but, you know,
Butler,
it works both ways.
I know it does.
Just win them. Just win them and don't complain about the early defeats. Right now we're on a run, but I'm really, really excited for St. John's. I'm excited for Queens, the community, but most of all, besides the players, the student body. I'm really thrilled for them.
Your sincerity, it's coming through. It's been awesome. Let's keep the ride going. Thank you, Coach. There he is, Rick Pitino, head coach. He is he's the godfather, man. He's building it. Johnny's on a roll. Back to the Red Storm Report next, right here on MSG.